It is nice to see your smiling faces again. So, obviously you can catch by the title of this video, I'm going to do a new little update on some items that I have. Items as in airsoft gear, things like that, my gun, what am I running, why am I running it. I've been asked this question a few times in some comments. Basically where you can get some of these things that I have. You know, can you buy it straight up, just like it is? Do you have to build it? Anything like that. So I'm going to kind of discuss a couple of those things, and maybe a little bit, you know, what it is that I'm generally running, if you have any interest in that. Maybe some of these things you haven't ran yet. Maybe you run one of these, maybe you have and you don't like it. Drop it in the comments if you didn't like these sorts of things. What I am using right now works for me, and there's different brands, basically the same things, just in different brands, a little bit different designs, things like that, but generally, you know, they're pretty close to each other. So I will first and foremost stick with, or go with, what mask am I using? So there's several different mask options. There's the dye mask, there's Bunker Kings, Push, and what I'm running is the JT. So the JT mask, I have a JT ProFlex. This is very, very, very common in paintball. It was originally used in motocross, and then it kind of shifted over to paintball and was used. Now this is the ProFlex. They also have one that's called an X. It's the newer one. It's the ones where you can kind of take the lens out a lot easier. These lenses to these are a pain to get out. I'm not kidding. They suck to try to get out. But these masks are very customizable. You can change these bottoms. That would be from the nose piece down to the mouth. You can change the lenses. You can change the goggles themselves to different things. This little piece in the back here that covers your ears, you can change those, and the strap you can also change. So you can customize these in so many ways, and there's plenty of websites on how to do so. I'll leave probably one of my favorite ones down in the description that you can go check out. They are super lightweight, and I shifted from the Dye i5 to this one. This one I can breathe a lot better. How much venting is going on here, and this is rubberized. It's very soft, and communication, because comms when it comes to tournament style play is extremely important, and you want your teammates to be able to hear what you are saying, where the enemy is, call outs, you know, you got your comms. But this is obviously, you know, in a competitive world, I guess we can't use radios, so we have to use our voice in a sense of enough level for, you know, your teammate to hear it. I really recommend this mask. Highly recommend it. And there are some good options on different masks to have, but I highly recommend this. The GoPro Hero 9 mount. It's waterproof. I really like this mount. Well, I was gonna say the mount. This is the case. The mount itself, I actually don't use. I actually have this inside of the venting for it. I have the feet of the GoPro case in the venting here. So makes it a little bit lower so it don't get shot so easy for headshots and things like that. I have it down to a level as if it gets shot, I was going to take one to the head anyway, so, you know, no worries. Super great mask. I love this mask though. It's in the description. What I also run is one of the Speedsoft official belts. This is the back of it. So this actually has little openings on the inside where you can put your pouches for your mags. On either end, it has the zippers on it. It's super cool. It has two kind of belt setups. So basically, on one side it has two. On the other side, it also has two. So basically, what you can do is kind of fold twice over each other. I really like this belt. Another one that I would suggest that I don't own is the Speedsoft. The Speedsoft is super awesome. You can get all kind of pouches for it as well. Super shout out to Speedsoft, man. He's got some new materials out there as well, some new gear styles. But these belts are super nice, man. They stay up on the, I like to tend to put mine more up on here on the admin and the belly, and not necessarily on the belt line. And you can run them upside down while they're in there. So that's what I tend to do. So when it's around my back, I will actually have them upside down where I can just reach behind, pull it, and put in a new mag into my rifle. Makes it very convenient, love them. Love this thing to death. But like I said, there's other styles, basically the same thing, same concept, just different brand. But really like it. I highly suggest these things anyways. But this is going to depend too on your gun setups. The reason I use this is the particular gun I use. Sometimes you have to use an atom pack, or a from Speedsoft, they actually had the backpack, or Speed QB, they have the backpack, things like that. It's going to depend on your rifle setup. So I run an ESG. So let me just go ahead and get over to the ESG real quick, which I run the Monk Custom ESG. This is the bulge one. So yet again, this goes back to my gear, why I'm using a belt, because I don't necessarily need the tank, or I'm sorry, the hose and all that stuff, the braided line hose, to run to a backpack. So I had the freedom of an AEG, you know, not tied to anything, but also get the same, you know, I get to use HPA. So this is my 5.56. This is a metal lower with a polymer upper. I prefer the metal lower more because with my tank, and my tank real quick, I'll jump over to it so I can kind of explain it. This is, I have athlete tape around this, so that's why it looks like it does. This is actually an Empire tank, a 4500 Empire tank. Super small, awesome, and also holds 4500 psi. Had a 48 size, so I get plenty of games out of this, being matched up with the engine that I'm using. So I was using a Polar Star Jack before. Polar Star Jacks are notorious for using more air. I also use this size by the reason that how tall I am and how long my arms are. I know you're like, what are you talking about, how tall you are? Well, it makes a difference in my arm length. If I was to try to use a 68 or like a 90 something tank, it puts it further out because this is always going to sit on my shoulder. So my arms aren't really long. I want something that's highly comfortable. So when I team it up with my rifle and screw it on, this is how it looks. Yeah, it looks a lot like a paintball gun, it's like people like to say. Yes, it does. It just does not have a hopper, instead it has a mag. So this is how it kind of looks in the end. Now this tank, like I said, being the size that it is, allows me to get closer, my face lined up with the rail. That's what we're looking for, is to be looking down the rail, you know, line of sight. If I have a stock and you're running a mask, you can't really look down the rail. That's why it's in sights are, this is discretion, you know, it's whatever you kind of want to do. I don't particularly like sights in it when it comes into, you know, a 5v5 competitive kind of world like that. And, you know, I think it's just easier just to look down the sights, you know, keep everything simple, small, light, just kind of works better for me. So when I remove the tank, let me get back to this, tell you what's on the inside. So, again, this is the 5.56 lower, metal, a polymer upper, the ESG grip. I'm running mine with the Wolverine Regulator. I prefer the Wolverine more than the Polar Star. So if you're going to get one of the Monk Customs ESG grips, I recommend getting the Wolverine Regulator. Don't get the Polar Star one. Just trust me. All right. I also, this inside of here has an F2 engine in it. I'm also using the Retro Hopup. This is the blue one. I'm using an 03 steel inner barrel. I use 03 and not 01 or 02, mostly because how dirty an 01 or an O can get extremely fast. And when your inner barrel starts getting dirty that fast, it's going to show a real inconsistency in the shots that you have. It's just easier just to have the 03. I don't have to worry about cleaning it that, you know, so much when it comes to, I mean, literally there's been times with an 01 I've had to clean it during a tournament. Not actively on the field, but in between, because you know, my shots started getting inconsistent, and that's a really bad thing. You want your gun to operate properly while you're in a tournament. Especially when there's a, you know, a win on the line. So I like the 03 better. Yes, you're not going to get as tight of a grouping, and it's going to, you know, difference in the FPS, but not by much, man. You're not going to notice it. I also run the Mac Carbon 7-inch carbon fiber Mac rail or handguard, 7-inch. it does not require an inner or an outer barrel. So I have inner barrel just inside of this and go straight to my tracer from my Hopup. So there's nothing in this but the inner barrel, and teamed up with the UBT 106. The UBT 106 will fit also with the lighter S tracer. Both of them are designed to fit inside of this one. You cannot use every tracer you want to. So you cannot use a blaster, an R, or a lighter R. You cannot use the BT. There's just certain tracers you cannot use inside of this rail. So you only have really the only two I know is an option between two, and that's the S and the UBT 106, which is what I'm running. And use it with a capped off Monk Custom cap for it to fill in the back. And I team this up with EPM 1s. These are the 250 round EPM 1s. Really great mags. I don't think they hold up as over time as long as the EPMs. So the EPMs are a 150 count. And yes, you're getting 100 more rounds in these, but out of how many I've used out of the both, I've had more problems out of these. But the consistency of, or I'm not gonna say the consistency, but the conveniency of being able to carry 4 mags and having 1,000 rounds, opposed to, you know, what do we get, 600 rounds out of 4 on the other. It's just, you know, kind of a no-brainer there. But super awesome mags. You know, they're PTS. They are really nice. They have good little grips on them. You know, so to team it up with that, very simple. So gear-wise, though, like I said, you see that I only show you a couple things because I'm trying to keep it so simple. What I realized over my time of playing Airsoft is it's not about how much gear you have or the most expensive or all this stuff. You want something that works for you. Very light, very easy to handle, not a lot of bells and whistles on the gun. I mean, if that's something you're into, bro, you can do it. It's still Airsoft. It's still the same thing. But I just find it easier just to kind of keep it, the simplicity of it, really does a number for me. I often run the SpeedQB pants. They come with knee pads in them, so they're super cool like that. Very convenient, very nice and fitting, good little straps and pulls to them. Really enjoy them. But basically, that's it, bro. Other than here, you know what? Let me scratch that. It's not it completely. My jersey. I've had people ask me about jerseys several times. Where did you get your jerseys? Our jerseys for my team, PBZ, come from Anthrax. So you can see it right there on the collar. It's from Anthrax. They have different options on Anthrax. You can either do like a semi-custom or a full custom design for them. They have different ones from the, ours are the Messiah 2021 brand. So that's the model we have some sponsors on it, numbers on it, things like that, our names, so on and so forth. But they're, they breathe really well. They're not too heavy. They're very, I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know the material you want to put, like a polyester, I said a polyester. Yeah, I guess that would be it. Kind of material right here on the forearm. It's very strong and good to slide. And plus, when you get shot right here, you can hear it. You can hear a good thunk on it. So, which is very convenient because you don't want to be sitting there like, somebody hits you and you don't hear it because it hits your thing, but they're like, they got them. So it makes it very easy to hear. There's not a padding there, nothing, but they do have some brands that, or I guess a brand, some types of jersey or models of jersey that do have some padding here, some on the chest, things like that. When it boils down to it, man, Airsoft is going to be, what works for you? What are you using and why you're using it? Now, these things that I have, you don't necessarily always have to go out and just buy a new 5.56. So if you happen to hypothetically be sitting there like, Steve, man, I want with that same build. You don't have to just go buy a brand new 5.56, strip everything out of it, and just use the upper and lower, tear away the grip. Check with some friends, check with people if you can get just a lower, just an upper. There's an app, it's called Hopup. A lot of people are selling little pieces. So you can just kind of part your things together. Now, if you are wanting a build like that, but better, definitely check out monkcustoms.com. They have all of the best builds that you can think of. Like, I mean, literally, they would team it up. There's different options of Hopups, mag releases, things like that you can put in there. The engine, the new rail systems or handguard systems, you know, outer barrels for them, all sorts of things that you can customize them. They will build it, they will tune it, they will send it to you. You know, you can put a Gorilla FCU in it, you know, all kinds of things. Super beautiful builds, they 100%. Some people, you know, they don't particularly like the ESG sports grips. I mean, if that's not your thing, cool, man. I mean, some people like running a stock. There's still times I've run a stock, and I actually went back from an ESG to a stock for a while, and then back to the ESG. I just prefer it. I think it's just the better route. In the convenience, it works for me. So that's what it'll boil down to, is what is working for you. And I try not to, a good suggestion is try not to just buy a bunch of things until you figure out what works for you. And I know that kind of harder said, you know, done and said. I get it. But try to think about what you're wanting, style you're wanting, things like that. And as you grow in Airsoft, when I first started playing Airsoft, this is what my rifle looked like. To me now, that's hideous. It looks nothing like something I would play with now, you know, being a few years later, to what my setup is now. But you know, I bought a lot of things and went through things that I was like, I didn't end up needing that. Like, that's just useless. So that's kind of a lot of what it came down to. For these items, there will be a link in the description. So if you want to go check these sorts of things out, go down there, check them out. You know, go over to monkcustom.com, check them out. Everything will be in there where you can get it. I highly suggest these items. I think this basis of style is definitely something I'm going to be running for a long period in. Some small parts may change here and there, but the overall, this is what I plan on kind of running. So, but yeah, man, if you got anything out of this, if you got anything to, you know, any comments or things like that, man, drop them for me. Let me know. Are these things that you would run or consider running? Do you think they're ugly? Think they're cool? They're, you know, they're awesome? Whatever the case is, just let me know. I mean, it's cool, bro. But yeah, man, if you got anything out of this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more things like this or check out some more of my content, go ahead and hit that red button down below and hit me the subscribe button. Show me some love. If you have any interest in podcasts and things like that, I do them almost every Friday. 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Have some awesome people, some big dogs out of the industry of the world when it comes to Airsoft with me on there at times, and it is super cool to interact and chat and build up the community for that. But yeah, man, let me know what you think about all these things, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.